have over 115,000 followers because I was meowing. Yeah, you heard me right. How the heck did that happen? Let's watch the video that started it all. Here it is. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Yeah, that video started it. So what in the world happened over the past few months that particular video took off and people decided to follow me after that? There's a few things that happened. Just a couple weeks prior to posting this video, I known from the beginning that I wanted to do music. I had a lot of growth to do and I wasn't super confident, and there's many things that I like. So I had to go through a journey of trying things and experimenting and doing all these different things. So I don't regret any decisions that I made, and I built a really good business foundation so that when things did start to take off, I would know how to handle it. And what happened was just a few weeks prior to this video, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks, I think, I decided any video I posted had to be me singing. Didn't matter what it was, it just had to be me singing. And that's also right around the time, I think, when I posted this video, I had been working with my current vocal coach for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Maybe not, because it was, yeah, anyway, I don't know, they kind of all overlapped, which I found him on TikTok, by the way, ironically enough. And what we were doing during voice lessons is we were singing a yeah, which was like going really nasally into this like really ugly spot that made me really uncomfortable, and I hated doing it, but I did it anyway because I knew it was gonna help me. It's helped me tremendously, by the way. And so one day I was sitting there and I was like, well, let's just play with filters and see what comes out of it. And again, the parameters were, I'm going to have to sing in any video I'm doing. Doesn't matter what it is, it just has to be me singing. And so I saw that filter and I was like, all right, let me meow Twinkle Twinkle Little Star then, or ABCs, or Mary Had a Little Lamb, whichever you prefer. So let me meow Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and see how this filter works, and then throw the video up there. I thought nothing of it. Just, it was funny, but I didn't think anybody was going to watch it. But what happened was it hit over 1 million views relatively quickly, and I was just like, okay, what in the world? Which I'm sure you are too. And there's so many people that sit there and look at my content, and I can tell them it's actually a lot more strategic than they think, and they laugh at me because they're like, yeah, your content is really weird. How is that strategic? That's not possible. Well, actually it really is. The fact that it's really weird is a strategy, because the fact that it's absurd is why people are like, wait, what is this? Let me watch this video. This is crazy, especially for TikTok. TikTok is like the app of absurdity. And so that's why everything started. And yes, I'm using notes. You can use notes in your videos. Probably not TikTok, they're just super short. But yeah, so another thing that made people watch was it was a familiar song. So it caught, people understood, they recognized it, and so when you're using a platform, you have to speak the language of the platform. And absurdity is the language of TikTok's platform. So I was speaking the language of the platform. I was using something that was familiar. So Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is very familiar to people. And I was doing it in a way that no one had ever seen before. So that's why people were like, wait, hold on. What's going on here? What is this? And then people kept coming back because it was also interactive. So people could use the sound, or they could use the filter, or they could use both, and it was very interactive. And they also, what I was doing was when people were commenting, people would leave suggestions of dog, cat, rooster, whatever, and I would respond to those comments and sing a song barking or clucking or whatever the case. And so it was becoming more and more interactive, and I was connecting more and more with my audience, which seems like a crazy way to connect with people, and it is, but that's what was happening. Another thing that I was doing was, because people want their voice heard, and that's the biggest part of the reason that I started my brand in the first place. About 5 or 6 years ago, I started the brand Dream Big because of the fact that I had let everybody else's opinion of me control my life, and during that time I started to break free, and I wanted anybody who followed me to have that same freedom. I wanted everybody to have a chance to have their voice heard that may not have otherwise, and I wanted everybody to feel seen that comes into my community. And I just wanted it to be a safe place where people actually felt valued. And so the fact that I was connecting with people because I was responding to their comments, because I was making videos based on their requests, because I was putting a poll in there so their voice could be heard, even if it's a silly poll, because I think one of my better performing videos was me. I had eaten Taco Bell that day, and I had an unsweetened tea in a cup, and so I was drinking the drink in the video, and I put a poll in there, something about, do you like Taco Bell, or does it hurt your stomach, or something along the lines. Whatever the case, I've put some more serious ones, like which piece of art do you like better for, or which title do you like better for this video. I actually did that on Instagram, and that's why the title that you see exists, because that's what people voted for. And so the more that you can get people involved and participating and feeling like they're a part of your community and a part of what you're doing, the more people feel valued, and the more people feel like their opinion really does matter. Because honestly, it does. Like, yes, you have to just keep moving forward and block out all the like super duper positive things and super duper negative things, but at the end of the day, like, we're all people and we all do have value. And so those polls just add that extra level of feeling valued to people, for people feeling heard. And then another thing is, because there was something's gonna happen in this video, like I'm gonna turn into an animal, but is it going to actually work? Is it going to land on the right animal? And if it does, what is the animal going to look like? So people they hopped on at the beginning because it was like, this is really weird, but then they stayed because it was like, wait, what's gonna happen in the end? And so people were watching the video all the way through, and sometimes even more than once, because it's funny. And that's the thing, TikTok loves, this is being said October 2021, algorithms are constantly changing. Generally, platforms like watch time, so this may or may not change, but right now, the algorithm is highly favoring watch time. They want to see that people are actually watching your video. If they're not watching your video past 3-4 seconds, or if it's a 20-second video and they're only watching 10 seconds of it, the algorithm's like, they don't care about her content, or his content, depending on who you are. But if you have a video that's 8 seconds long and is getting watched 50% of the time, 100% of the way through, then the algorithm's like, oh, this is actually a video that people want to watch. And so it's not that TikTok hates you if your video is not getting viewed, it's that people aren't watching your video all the way through, or you're not giving them a reason to watch the video all the way through. So watch time was another really important thing in growing my following. And then the other thing is sharing. Sharing is a really big, important thing too, because if it's getting shared, and then the people it's getting shared to watch it, that's more views, more people hopefully watching the whole thing through. And if it's getting shared, then that means that people liked it enough to stop and share it, because they're not going to just share everything, because there's just so much on the internet. And people were sharing it for one of two reasons. One, they got a good laugh and they thought it was absolutely adorable, so they wanted their friends to see it as well. Or two, they got a good laugh and thought it was completely ridiculous and couldn't believe it even existed, so they were sharing it with their friends so that they could share in the, oh, this is so ridiculous. So in conclusion, you want to, or what I did to build my audience, sorry, I should say what I did, and then you can take whatever advice that you want, because some of this might not work for you, because everybody is different and every brand is different, everybody has different goals, everybody has different personalities. You have to find what works for you, and the things that worked for me were putting out something really absurd that gave a good laugh, because music and humor are like two really important factors of my life and who I am, and engaging with my crowd, with my audience, by doing polls, responding to comments, and making videos based on their requests. So and then making sure the videos were getting watched all the way through. Those are the things that are going to really help you get your content seen out there. And yes, currently in October 2021, it is still very possible to grow on TikTok and grow organically on TikTok. Yes, there are people who are sponsoring posts. I experimented with a little bit of it a while back, but I wasn't really seeing any of the results that I wanted, and I didn't have enough to put into it, so I kind of stopped doing that. I stopped doing it because I didn't feel like I was really learning much, so I just kept with the organic content and experimenting with things. That's something too. Like, you can't be afraid to experiment with things, otherwise you're probably not ever gonna find something that works. So I hope this is helpful. Please, if you have questions, leave them down below. I would happily answer them. If you were looking for me on TikTok, this is me. And remember, I believe in you, I love you, and as always, dream big and take action.